Today's final feature was a film I first read about a couple of weeks ago, actually, even though the film is 10 years old. I had no idea it existed, and then I saw some shots of it on Tumblr and was like, what the hell is this movie? And I looked it up and I was like, wow. And then I found it streaming for free on Amazon Prime, so here we are. And this is Jodie Markell's The Loss of a Teardrop Diamond. Jodie Markell is mostly a actress. However, she has a short film also that's an adaptation of Eudora Welty's "Why I Live at the PO," which is like one of my favorite. I think that's the name of the title. But anyways, it's one of my favorite short stories, so I need to track that down. But anyways, the Lost of a Teardrop Diamond is um, a screenplay by Tennessee Williams that he wrote in the late 50s with the intentions of Elia Kazan making the film. However, that did not happen. This film was never produced, and many years ago, because this film has been in production for a long time, or was in production for a long time, Jodie Markell came across the screenplay in a collection of Tennessee Williams screenplays and kept trying to get the film rights for it with her producer Brad Gilbert. When eventually the Tennessee Williams state let them have it, and they made this film. It has quite a cast. It stars Bryce Dallas Howard as the main character, Fisher Willow, Chris Evans as her would-be lover, Jimmy Dobine. I think that's how it's pronounced. Ellen Burstyn as the one-time opium addict, Miss Addie, and Margaret as Fisher's Aunt Cordelia. Mammy Gummer, who is obviously Meryl Streep's daughter, as her one friend Julie, Will Patton as Chris Evans' father, and Jessica Collins in a character named Vinny, who I'm not sure that I've seen Jessica Collins in anything before, but she was very good in this film. In the original iteration of this film, that as Williams wrote it and as he envisioned it, he wanted Julie Harris to play the role of Fisher Willow. Julie Harris is so good in films like The Haunting and A Member of the Wedding, and obviously was great in Kazan's East of Eden. So this film didn't happen in the 50s. Cut to 2008, it gets released. It did not get very good reviews. Most of them, I read through several of them, basically said that it was minor Williams and that it was dated and all kinds of things. And I'm like, okay, well, one, yes, sure. Two, many of them called it histrionic, and I'm like, have you read Tennessee Williams? Like, that's his style. Everything is exaggerated in Tennessee Williams. That's Southern Gothic. One of my favorite Tennessee Williams films is actually Summer and Smoke, and it is the most, other than maybe Boom, the most like completely removed from real life. In its, at least the film version. Check that movie out if you can find it. It stars Geraldine Page and Lawrence Harvey, and it is so good. It has a great performance from Rita Moreno in it as well. But back to The Loss of a Teardrop Diamond. It's beautifully shot. It was filmed in Louisiana, even though it's set in near Memphis, Tennessee. It is hot and over like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like you can feel the sweat on everybody, because it's the South and it's the summer. And Fisher Willow, played by Bryce Dallas Howard, who, by the way, looks like a real person in this movie and not like super Hollywood thin cheekbones. Like she has like little fat cheeks. Made me really happy. Little fat flabby arms. It made me so happy. Let's have more actresses that look like real people. Come on, we can do it. She is a social outcast because, one, she was an only child and raised strangely, as you do in Southern Gothic. Two, she went and studied in France, although it's hinted that perhaps maybe she didn't study in France because she says at one point that she was in a mental institution in Zurich. Was that after she studied in France? Did she never actually study in France? You're never really sure. That's okay. But she's back. Whatever reason she was in Europe, she's back. her father, a year prior to the incident in this film, blew up his levee, and it drowned several sharecroppers. And obviously that has made them all social pariahs. She is trying desperately to make her aunt happy so that she can get $5 million when she dies. Her aunt is played by Anne Margaret. So she's going to these debutante balls that she knows she's not really wanted at. She doesn't like anybody there. She just wants to go and like drink alcohol and dance at jazz clubs. And like, who wouldn't, you know? And so it's in like many a Tennessee Williams play. It's about a woman who doesn't fit with society. It's about the snobbishness of the elite. It's about the goodness of the working class, as shown in the Chris Evans and Will Patton characters. Will Patton always very good. Chris Evans, I don't think quite works here. Like, I'm not sure that maybe it's how it's written, or maybe it was how he was directed, but I feel like he's just a little too stiff. That said, I think Bryce Dallas Howard gives an amazing performance, and I love the character of Fisher Willow. I kind of want to read the screenplay now. I wish I'd seen this so much earlier. She's so relatable, and every time she's like suffering little things or like presenting herself wrong, you know, meaning to do one thing but saying something else, and she's just a mess, a glorious Tennessee Williams-esque mess, and I love his heroines for that. So, you know, I don't know. I enjoyed this film. I loved the character so much that you know, maybe it's outdated, maybe it's outmoded, maybe it doesn't have anything interesting to say other than things Tennessee Williams has already said before. I don't really care. I'm not often a fan of the phrase lesser this or lesser that in terms of like canonizing our author's work. I hate that, actually. It's like, why do we need to rank an artist's work from best to worst, or like from most essential to lesser? Like, it's all wonderful. I'm glad that we have it. Period. Tennessee Williams is Tennessee Williams is Tennessee Williams. That's how I feel. So that's how I feel about most artists. I just appreciate their work, and I want to watch all of it, read all of it, see all of it. I don't want to rank it. Nope. Especially because I'm not a fan of bests anyways. I'm always a favorite person. I like to say this is my favorite. And I'm always fascinated when I ask people favorite X or favorite Y, and they're like, well, I think the best is. And I'm like, did I ask for the best? No, I didn't. I asked for your subjective opinion favorite. That's neither here nor there, though. So this is The Loss of a Teardrop Diamond. If you have Amazon Prime, you can stream it for free. If you do not have Amazon Prime, you can rent it. I definitely suggest seeking it out. The one review that I read that I really particularly liked, and this is almost always the case, was Roger Ebert, where he basically was like, here's what this film is. Please accept it for what it is, and you'll love it. If you can't accept it for what it is, you're not going to like it. I love that about Ebert. He always could see what a film wanted to be and gave it the benefit of the doubt, and I appreciate that. I don't always agree with him, but I think he at least let films try to be what they wanted to be and judge them on their own merits. So, this is The Loss of a Teardrop Diamond. It's directed by Jodie Markell. It's written by Mr. Tennessee Williams. You should check it out.